We're finally here, the last month of the year. Everyone's stockings were filled to the brim, and that Grandma did not give you any socks this time around because she did for me. I'm Miney, and this is your Harry Potter Speedrunning Community Recap for December 2023. To start off, in the first weekend of the month, we concluded the 2023 Bingo Tournament. If you remember last month's recap, you know that semi-retired Canadian runner Complex Beaver, aka Liam, aka Lame, aka Monkey Dude 1616. Anyways, Complex Beaver had yet to lose a single game in the tournament last time we checked in. That has changed, however, as the finals concluded in a 3-2 finish. Beaver's adversary Luzak, who was a Polish runner, sniped goals in the nick of time, giving him a fair fighting chance. However, Liam has been on fire this whole tournament, so in the end it was him who brought home the trophy. Congratulations and best of luck in any future endeavours to him, as well as the other contestants. It's a little bit of a recap team party this month, as I've sat down with American runner at Blaze Knight to talk about the massive reroute fan for HP4PC 100%. I'm sure he doesn't need an introduction, but for the ones among us living under a rock, meet a Blaze Knight.
Hi, my name is Blaze. I am a 6th gen runner and an HP4 runner. I also ran HP3 PC, but I don't run as much as I used to.
Let's hear what he had to say when I asked about why exactly this game needed a reroute.
HP4 Hundo, if you've ever watched it, it is very, on-the-fly routing. Like, the whole run is based on what mastery you get in what place and the other, and because of that, the whole run is like a balancing act of sorts, and if you don't have any consistent strats with a mastery, you're doing a big juggling act the entire time.
Now, I bet you were all wondering what was changed. Here's Blaze to explain it.
So what is specifically changed is for two basics of mastery, which is Urkling Mastery and Aqua Rupto Mastery. Urkling Mastery is Malifaux, which is the pumpkin head, and Pulis, which is the chicken. And the problem with Malifaux and Pulis is there's not a lot of Urklings in the main areas of the game. The changes we made with Urkling Mastery is we now grind more Mastery and Bathroom Story, and we now grind more Mastery and Herbology Story with those Urklings because of the Blue Bean card, and we have Extremos more often. And Aqua Rupto, which to a lot of people that run, Aqua Rupto is one of the worst spells in the game. But the problem is that spell takes a lot to master, and since it is only done when it's needed, it tends to be really low. So what happens is now in Herbology Story, since we kill those Urklings, the AI follows down, allowing us to get all the combined casts on the Herbology Story Big Shield.
I also asked how much time this whole thing saved.
Me and Dean estimated it to be around 5 minutes.
Thanks Blaze for your time, and you're bound to see a lot more of him on the channel, as he's our host of our new series, HP Insiders. The first episode's already up, and it features me, so go check it out. You can also find the full interview in the description below. Time to talk about some Locast. For the uninformed ones, the Locast category doesn't focus on speed, but on limiting the one thing that Harry loves doing most: casting spells. The first two games on PC each have their own separate Locast leaderboard, and both of those respective records have been beaten this month. For HP1, the minimum amount of casts needed to beat the game is 81 at the time of writing, so when two players tie in terms of casts, that's when speed gets brought into the equation. For HP1, the record used to be held by Bulgarian runner Portugal 1000, and it stood at 81 casts completed in 1 hour, 57 minutes and 6 seconds, until early in December, when Finnish runner Akon Tiainen tied the casts but ended up beating Portugal's time by a whopping 3.5 minutes. This is particularly impressive because most of Locast strats are something else. As for Nikki's favourite game of HP2 PC, American runner Ratburn44 has had a firm grip on the Locast leaderboard for the past year and a half. That, however, did not stop him from improving his own time by 1 hour, 48 minutes and 12 seconds. The number of casts remained at 61. How this was achieved, we have no clue. Maybe we'll soon hear from Ratburn about what he has to say about this impressive feat. Now I have some more HP1 PC news for you guys. There's a new category added to the category extension leaderboards, one that was already added to HP2 PC a while back. High jump! In high jump, Harry's maximum jump height is set to the highest value by runners before the run starts. This causes Harry to fly into the air by a simple button press with the hilarity that it entails. The current world record at the end of December clocked in at 1 hour 9 minutes and 13 seconds, being held by Bulgarian runner It's Just Vlad. Last month, Nikki sat down with French runner Islia, who hasn't sat still since we spoke to her. In fact, she's been on a tear in Hogwarts Legacy, in particular the Nintendo Switch category extensions, which opened up just last month, with the release of that version of the game. Lots of categories in there were completely empty, but now Islia has set a baseline for other runners to follow, ranging from first day all the way up to map chamber, for every house separately. Fantastic job Islia, and best of luck in the future. Now, did you know that gold wings are not needed for a 100% completion of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets? It's okay, we didn't either, and that's why we have been doing them ever since, well, ever. Egg on our face aside, now this little mistake has been rectified, in particular by German runner Tego Samego 2020. Tego has been a fixture in the PS1 community for a while now, and holds the record for HP2 PS1 100% and Duo Effector 100%, which is the multi-run combining the first and second game. We were expecting great things from Tego in this upcoming year. Oh boy! Now for the highlight of the month. French runner Elflo203, whom you will undoubtedly know, has achieved not 1, not 2, but 3 milestones in December of 2023. To ask him more about this, Nikki,
that's me,
sat down with him and immediately started fawning about the fact that he achieved another minute barrier in HP1 PC any percent. The 104 is actually real.
Yeah, I mean, I started running that game like 5 years ago, and the record was like 112, and it was already considered like fairly optimized. But yeah, I don't know what happened. We just saved like 8 minutes.
The current world record stands at 104.44, and this time wasn't achieved without trials and tribulations.
Yeah, no, it's been a while. Like the thing that was also so frustrating is it's also mostly me who can like really like see the time save and the potential, and like the main thing is there was like so much time save. Like 104 was really doable, and like the time I got it isn't even like a really optimized time. It can still go down like quite a bit, but it's just
yeah, like
24
seconds would be cool.
Yeah. but yeah, like it was mostly like seeing the amount of time save, but I just could not like finish everything, because that's the thing about HP1. There's like so much time save, but there's also so many stupid things that you have to go for, and just you miss one of them, you just lose so much time.
From a rather short run to one of the longest runs we as a community have to offer, Flo has also beaten the record for PC Octo Effector 100%. For the uninformed, a PC Octo Effector is a multi-run of all 8 mainline Harry Potter games for the PC, and the 100% after, well, it kind of explains itself. Let's hear what Flo has to say about this run.
Yeah, I was a bit unhappy about that run, because so I had like a run, like a completed Honda Effector that I did quite a while ago, but I forgot to buy a set of cards. It was set number 6 of a run in HP4. I had to delete my run, and I lost 18 hours of my life, so that was fun. But yeah, it's just to say, I was a bit disappointed because that time was like an 1828 from what I remember.
Oh, okay.
So this run is like about 10 minutes worse than my previous attempt.
We also just have to talk about the fact that Flo is the second ever person to complete a full series 100% run. This is an Octo Effector 100%, really, only 3 times the length, as you play through every Harry Potter game across all consoles and do everything that needs to be done to achieve 100% game completion in every game. The first person to achieve this milestone was German runner Nixo, which he achieved in December 2021. Now, 2 years later, Flo has beaten his time, achieving a very impressive time of 58 hours, 1 minute and 54 seconds. We asked Flo about his future goals before ending the interview, and here's what he had to say.
Well, right now the biggest one is partner, which if I don't control and the guy reviewing my application, I don't know, he's had a nice morning that I should hopefully get it. Speedrunning wise, I kinda already, I'm in 103 obviously, but I kinda want a little break from HP1, at least from any person.
We thank Flo for taking the time out of his busy schedule to talk to us. He's on his way to becoming the second Harry Potter speedrunner partnered on Twitch, so make sure to check him out if you haven't already. Links, as always, in the description. Also this month, German speedrunner Pax completed the first ever HP1 fixed movement run on the custom content leaderboard. His first run came in at 2 hours, 4 minutes and 42 seconds, but one day later he would improve the time to a 1:34:17. A huge congrats to Pax for being the first person to run this category, and we hope to see more run it in the future. Welcome to the Announcements Corner, where we here at the Recap channel get on our soapboxes and shout over the rooftops about what special events are happening in the community. We have a bunch of exciting things to talk about. First of all, German pillar of the community Nixo has announced a HP2 PC Glitches tournament. This is great news for all the Glitches enjoyers, as there will be yet another chance to compete against one another for the glory. Everyone is allowed to join, so go check out the HP Speedrunning PC Discord server for more information. Second announcement involved British runner Dino95HD. He's hosting an Octafed at any percent elimination tournament around the summertime. As a community, we have done this before, and he was so popular that Dino took it upon himself to host another one. An Octafed elimination tournament, or Octo KO for short, entails that runners start off with a randomly chosen game from the 8 main games that share a title with a movie. They race that game against one another, and the person coming in last gets eliminated. This goes on until a winner is crowned. Now for marathons. This year was the debut of our non-HP Games marathon named Potagon. It was a great success, so we're hosting another one during the 25th and 26th of May. The only criteria to sign up is that you have to have at least one verified run on any leaderboard that has to do with Harry Potter, which includes fan games and Hogwarts Legacy. This is a great opportunity to show off the games that don't get talked about on this channel, so don't hesitate to submit once further announcements are made. As for our main marathon, Potterfun 10 will be happening from the 20th to the 22nd of September, spanning over 3 days just as it did last year. We're again doing the event for charity, so make sure to bring yourselves as well as your wallets, but also the wallets. And wait, where's the rest of the script? Did Nicky not finish it? Darn, he must have passed out after all that Christmas dinner. Ah well, I guess I'll have to finish this. And that is about it for this month's recap, guys. Thank you so very much for watching, and thank you as ever for all of your support over the past 12 months. The support from the community has been insane, and I can't thank you enough. I also cannot thank my amazing team enough. They're all incredible people. Everyone that has ever touched a recap episode, all of our amazing guest hosts, everyone that's ever been involved with the recap. I simply cannot thank you enough for all the love and support you have shown the channel and the show. But yeah, did you know that you can now listen to the recap on Spotify as well as SoundCloud and watching it on YouTube? That's 3 whole places you can catch the recap if you haven't already heard. As always, links will be down in the description below. But for now, you're up to date on the biggest stories in the Harry Potter speedrunning community for December 2023. Thanks for watching.